Gather around, you food lovers, and hear our tale of the wondrous eats from Scotland through wind and hail. From the Highlands to
Hello
the
Highland
cities, every
Explorers,
bite's a delight.
welcome back to my channel where we celebrate all things Scotland. Normally we're out there hiking the rugged trails, discovering hidden gems and diving deep into our rich history. But as you may know, I've recently had major surgery, so while I'm recovering, we're taking a wee detour from our usual adventures. Over the next few weeks, join me as we explore a variety of fascinating topics about Scotland, from mouth-watering dishes and quirky traditions to our captivating folklore and more. Even though my hiking boots are on a break, the journey continues. Today, we're embarking on a journey through the top 10 iconic foods of Scotland. Prepare your taste buds and loosen your kilts, because we're diving deep into the gastronomic wonders of this wild and wacky land. Number 10. The Scotch Pie. Ah, the snack that managed to make mincemeat majestic. This isn't just any pie, folks. It's a double-crusted wonder crammed full of minced mutton and, or as we like to call it, sheep in a blanket. Imagine a pie so hearty it could survive a night in the Highlands, which is probably why it's Scotland's go-to snack for everything from football matches to late-night cravings. It's practically a food group on its own. If pies could wear kilts, this one would, and it would look fabulous doing it. Number 9. Cranachan. The only dessert where it's perfectly acceptable to include a shot of whiskey without anyone batting an eye. It's like the Scottish trifle's bolder, more flamboyant cousin who shows up to every family gathering with a new tattoo and a bottle of the good stuff. Layers of whipped cream, toasted oats, fresh raspberries, honey and a healthy dose of whiskey makes this dessert that's too cool for bowls. It's traditionally served in a glass, but let's be honest, you'll want to dive right in with a spoon and no shame. It's the sweet treat that says, I'm here to party and I brought my own whiskey. Number 8. Shortbread. The ultimate buttery biscuit that's made with so much love and butter, it could clog your arteries just by looking at it. But who cares about cholesterol when you've got a cookie that's so delightfully crumbly and melts in your mouth like a dream? Shortbread is the reason tea time in Scotland is less about tea and more about how many biscuits you can sneak without anyone noticing. It's the only treat that makes dieting seem like a personal insult. And let's be real, shortbread isn't just a snack. It's an excuse to sit down and pretend to be fancy while you devour a plateful. Number 7. Scottish tablet. Imagine if fudge and caramel had a love child, and that child grew up in the Scottish Highlands with a penchant for incredibly sweet and slightly crumbly. That's tablet for you. It's basically sugar in its most gloriously addictive form, combined with condensed milk and butter. If you ever wanted to taste something that could give you a sugar rush strong enough to rival a Highland storm, this is it. It's like biting into a block of sweet, buttery joy that makes your dentist cringe just thinking about it. Tablet is so sweet it could double as currency in some parts of the world. Need to bribe someone? Forget cash. Hand them a piece of tablet and watch the magic happen. Number 6. Black pudding. If there was ever a food that could proudly strut into a room and say, I'm made of blood and I'm delicious, it's black pudding. This isn't just any blood sausage, it's the Scottish version, packed with pork blood, fat, suet and oatmeal. It's the breakfast item that turns any meal into a hardcore culinary adventure. Eating black pudding is like earning a badge of honour in the world of breakfast meats. You might start off sceptical, but one bite and you'll be shouting, bring on the blood. It's rich, it's savoury, and it's as unapologetically bold as a Scotsman in a kilt on a windy day. Number 5. Arbroath smokies. If you think smoked salmon is fancy, then meet its rugged Highland cousin, the Arbroath smoky. These haddocks are salted and smoked over hardwood chips, until they're as flaky and flavoursome as a fisherman's tail. It's a process so painstaking, you might wonder if it's worth it. But one bite of these smoky, tender fish and you'll understand why they've been a staple in Arbroath for centuries. Smokies are the kind of fish that could convince a vegetarian to reconsider their life choices. They're so good, even the seagulls in Arbroath have become gourmet critics, refusing anything less than a smoky. Number 4. Scotch broth. This is a soup that says, forget your salads and your dainty consumies. I'm here to keep you warm through a Scottish winter. Made with mutton or lamb, barley and enough root vegetable to stock a small farm, Scotch broth is a meal equivalent of a bear hug from a Highlander. It's hearty, it's wholesome, and it's so filling you might need a nap after just a few spoonfuls. Forget about counting calories, this broth laughs in the face of portion control. It's the kind of soup that could fortify a medieval warrior, or just anyone brave enough to venture outside in a Scottish rainstorm. Number 3. Neeps and tatties. If ever there were a more dynamic duo in the world of side dishes, it's these two. Mashed swede, neeps, and mashed potatoes, tatties, come together in a partnership that's as iconic as whiskey and bagpipes. They're often seen alongside haggis, but don't be fooled, these humble mashups can steal the show on their own. Neeps and tatties are like the comforting friends who show up to every meal, ready to support the main act, but secretly ready to steal the spotlight. They're so smooth and creamy they could double as a spa treatment. If carbs were a currency, neeps and tatties would be the gold standard. Number 2. Cullen skink. The name might sound like a bad superhero, but the soup is the unsung hero of Scottish cuisine. Cullen skink is a rich, creamy chowder made from smoked haddock, potatoes and onions, and it's as comforting as a woolen scarf on a cold day. It's the soup that hugs you from the inside, whispering sweet nothings of everything will be alright. It's so hearty, it could stand up and sing a power ballad. Forget about those flimsy soups that leave you hungry an hour later. Cullen skink means business. One bowl and you'll be fortified for a day of herding sheep, or just binge watching your favourite series. And at number 1, we have the king of Scottish cuisine, the mighty haggis. This isn't just a food, it's a culinary rite of passage. Made from sheep's heart, liver and lungs, mixed with oats and spices and then cooked in a sheep's stomach. Haggis is the dish that boldly asks, are you brave enough to eat me? It's a savoury explosion of flavours that defies its intimidating ingredients. Forget what you think you know about offal. Haggis is here to change your mind. It's the meal that Robert Burns wrote poetry about and that every true Scot holds dear. If you can conquer haggis, you can conquer anything. It's the edible embodiment of Scottish spirit, rugged, robust and undeniably delicious. So there you have it, the top 10 foods from Scotland. Whether you're a seasoned gourmand or just a curious eater, these dishes are sure to leave you craving more, or at least leave you with some unforgettable stories. Until next time, may your plates be full and your spirits even fuller. So, thank you for joining me on this slightly different but still very Scottish adventure. While we're taking a break from our usual hikes and explorations, it's a wonderful reminder that every journey has its own pace and direction. As I continue to recover, I'm grateful to share these moments with you. Remember, sometimes the most unexpected paths can lead to the most beautiful destinations. Just as the greatest views come after the steepest climbs, the richest stories often emerge when we take pause and look around. Thank you for being part of this journey, and together we'll keep uncovering the magic of Scotland, one story at a time. Until next time, stay curious and stay inspired.